I know. Oh, hi, I'm live. Darren just hollered in here that it's snowing. So, yay! Welcome to Messy Bun Monday. It's snowing here in Nashville, Tennessee. Woohoo! Okay, so, anyways, I'm going to give a minute for people to jump in. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. Yeah, 10:45 a.m. ish is what I'm doing this for. So, yay! Let's see. What I have decks upon decks just hanging out. This is my new deck. I still have not opened it because Darren got me two woo books and two of these new um, Luma decks, which I will probably be using next week. This is the Oracle deck, and then I also got the Tarot deck. What I can do is I can do a video showing you the new decks if you want me to. Just let me know below if you want me to do a boxing deck. But look at that. I mean, I haven't even opened it, and the front of the deck is just freaking gorgeous. Anyways, we'll do a video on that. I'm going to do animals because, no, Spirit's telling me angels. We're going to do angel tarot. So we're going to pull a card for today. First things first, though. I'm just get these as I get these ready. First of all, if you're here, say hello. Oh, hey, Nikki. How are you? Margaret, all my old school peeps. Hey, how are you guys? Let's see. I guess I got to switch back to comments over here. Anyway, I'm so excited that you guys are here. Let me do some little techie stuff right now so that I can oop there. Okay, so yay. Great day. Great day too. Great day to you too, Nikki. And Margaret, I miss you. You're so sweet. How are you? And you looked fabulous in those pictures, by the way, you took and put on the Facebooks. So I just got off a different call, so I'm a little scared. I apologize. But first of all, I do want to acknowledge the fact that there is a lot going on. It's like, I think in my last email out to everybody on my list, I was like, my spirit message was kind of like, 2020 seems to be just wandering in and taking over 2021. And I feel like, although we are witness, now just remember, there's a big difference between being a witness and being involved. You can choose to decide if you are going to be witness to, or observer to is another good way to refer to it, or are you going to get caught up in things? Not to say that we don't have opinions or that we're not allowed to have feelings, because I certainly have feelings. But remember, when we go on social or we go out into the world, it's good to vent your feelings in a place that doesn't magnify them if they are low vibrational. We were talking about this last night, me and Darren, about how we decided we need to watch something that is just so not, because we just all yesterday were talking about everything going on. And if I'm going to manifest greatness and you're going to manifest greatness, we got to stay on our high flying disc, y'all. So last night, I'm such a nerd. I really am. So don't hate on me for being nerdy. But I was like, let's watch Masterpiece on PBS because A, it has nothing to do with this time period. B, usually it's really pretty. C, it's usually English, which everything, even cussing, sounds way better in English accent than American. So that's what we did. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do this week before I pull the card, but just in general, is to remember you are a radiant being of light. You have a God particle. You are, source energy, God energy made manifest into your human form. Okay. You have control over whether or not you allow what you witness, what you observe, to toss you out of observer mode and into participant mode, which, and one side or the other, it doesn't really matter. But when you're participating in the shitstorm, let's remember energy flows where focus goes. So you attract more of the stuff that you're focused on, right? So if you can shift that focus, if you become aware that's what's going on and you use it as data, you don't get all into the blame game of, oh my God, look what I did, blah, blah. Don't do that. But if instead you pick up the idea from the perspective of a data point where it's like, oh, I'm feeling really shitty because I'm watching the news and reading a bunch of shit all the time. And my mind is just running away with itself. Start rewriting your story for yourself where you move yourself back into that observer mode so that you can go, well, that's interesting. What can I do from where I'm sitting in Nashville, Tennessee, or wherever you are to to be the change I want to see in the world, right? So what does that mean? So Caroline Myss, who I absolutely love, she said once, and I thought this was so powerful. She said, people think you physically have to get up and go somewhere, right? But the fact is, when you realize that you are a being that has a God particle in there, you have more power in directing your energy than you ever could getting up, getting on a plane and going somewhere and screaming at somebody, or going to your neighbor and having a fight with them, or going to a friend who you just discovered thinks has an opinion that's opposite of you. Okay. But instead, if you can sit and go by high vibrational, sit there, take a meditation moment and imagine yourself pulling down Christ consciousness, golden light into your crown, your third eye, your throat, into your heart chakra, and lighting up your entire body. And then imagine the earth right in front of you, and you put your hands out and you direct your light, your love light, into that earth. Okay. And just start sending love. That's how I do it. That's what I'm going to encourage you guys to do it, as far as how to deal with this. And then be resilient. Do not let this get you down from what your work is. Like, I'm seeing amazing people on this comment list. I see Nikki, I see Marguerite, I see Susan. You guys, you have so much light to bring to this world. Do not let the crap, the tumult of what's going on, not this, and I'm not saying don't have an opinion. I'm not saying put a happy face sticker on a trash can. What I am saying is be in charge of your energy. You were sent here to do something full of light. Okay? Go and do that. Focus on that. You can have your moment. We are human beings. That's kind of how this works. But focus on what you are supposed to do in this world. Focus on your calling. Do whatever that means for you. Okay? That's my spiel on how we get through this craziness. Like, I keep saying, can we just get to February where it's like chocolate month? Because, like, if we could just get to chocolate month, everybody will be like so much happier. And we're going to talk about love and chocolate and all kinds of fun things. Okay. So all that said, today, you guys, I'm so excited. And if you want to, and I'm gonna ask you guys for some help with this, but I have been guided. Like, I was just telling group, Susan was there, that I have so much in my brain that Spirit has downloaded. And I apologize for the banging. If you can hear that, that is my neighbor. She's, I think, putting in a new fireplace or something. But anyways, if you hear that, that's what that is. So I apologize out the gate. It's snowing. I'm so excited. Anyways, hey, Karina. Karina is in England. That's why it's evening there. It's only 11 a.m. here in the States. In Nashville, but it's evening there. I guess it's like 5 or 6 by you. Anyways, it's snowing here. Yay. So just chocolate deserves more than just a month. Yes, that is true. That's why there's two, Susan. There's February and October I have dedicated as chocolate months. In fact, I'm really specific about October because that is like Reese Cup month. But I think we've switched to Justin's because they taste more like Reese Cups used to than the Reese Cups do now. But anyway, so what Spirit has downloaded to me is I'm going to develop new readings and services based around law of attraction and what I am calling divine manifesting. I said this to one of my friends recently, and she was like, oh my God, that's so good. And I'm like, yeah, right? Because people have said for years, you can't do divination and manifesting because they're opposite. And I'm like, no, they're not. If you actually think about divination and you're manifesting, they actually work really well together. So that's like, I have all of my little plans up in here that have been downloaded. They came through my crown. Now they're hanging out in my third eye, and I have to get them into here. And then I guess out my arm because I'll be writing things out. But anyways, I'm excited about that. So what my question is to you, after we're done here, don't do this now. After we're done here, if you want to either PM me or you can post below or right now, what are some things when you think about the stuff you want to manifest, do you know where and what your blocks are? Number two, if you do, can you pinpoint them? Because I would love to figure out maybe a way to work around that when people, like if a lot of people have the same block, or if you don't know what your block is, maybe like what are things that are showing up that point to you having a block there? Okay, like if that makes sense. Does that make sense, guys? Like those two questions, because what I want to do is help people through their blocks and then figure out and then create some medicine, not just chocolate, but because I consider chocolate medicine sometimes, but some medicine of thought medicine, heart medicine, energetic heart medicine. I'm not a doctor, obviously. Oh no, I know. Yes, Margaret. I know that is what you are intending for. But do you know, you've been intending for that for a while. I know that, girl. But do you know if there's a block there? Do you not know if there's a block there? Do you do you kind of, and you don't have to put it here because I know this is public. So if you want to message me and let me know, that'd be cool too. But just curiosity about the blocks or, or any other question that you have about the process of law of attraction or manifesting. And also, what do you hate the way it's taught? Like, if there's one thing you loathe about how people teach it, I would love to know that too. So anyways, if you have any input on that, I would welcome it. But this week, that's kind of like where I have to dictate from spirit all the stuff they put in their dictaphone. If any of you are old enough to remember what a dictaphone is, they gave me the little tape. It's right here and I have to get it out. Anyways, okay, so we are halfway through and I really need to pull a card for you guys. So what I'm going to do is pull this card and we're going to work with the angel deck today. And I love these cards. And so you can get these, I think, from Hay House. They are now under Radley Valentine. And we all know why. I won't even go down that road. But I'm going to just shuffle these. And our question today, I think, is where can we, where or what do we need to know to show more compassion for ourselves and thusly for others? So I think that's what do we need to know about that is a good question. So I'm going to pull something for that. Okay. Is it this one? Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Of course, I pull my very favorite card in the whole deck. I'm trying to get it so there's no glare. The High Priestess card. I love this card. This card actually was the beginning of my journey when I was 14 or 15 or 16, way back when, many moons ago. I went to my local flea market and it was in the Long Island Arena, which is no longer there. I think it's like a building now. And this woman I'd never met, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go have this reading. I told my mom I'm going to go get a reading. I'd never had a reading before. I knew except for my grandma, my family, not from a stranger. So she did my reading. And this was the card at the end. If you ever do a Celtic cross, this was the card at the end of the ladder, which says, this is how you're going to live your life for the rest of your life, which I thought now looking back, I'm like, oh, that's funny. But she said to me, you need this deck and you need this book. And I was like, I don't have no money. I'm a kid. I'm like 15 years old. I don't have this. And she's like, just take them. Spirit is telling me this is so important. You just need to take it. So I did not know this woman. I still don't know this woman. I met her one time. People pop in and out. They're your angels. You know what I mean? And so that's why this card that High Priestess card is so, so important to me. But our question was about compassion for self and others. What do we need to do? And the card itself talks about listening to your intuition, having patience in a world of instant gratification. I mean, if you're a Gen Xer, I think that's where it started, was the whole in an afternoon, you'd go home for your after school special and it would in an hour, the kid would get addicted to drugs and then go through therapy and then live a happily ever after life. And I think all of us know at this point, trauma doesn't work that way. So having patience with yourself, because the question was, how do we have more compassion and love for ourselves? Because when we do that, we can have more so for others. Because if we don't love ourselves very much, we get a little bit more frustrated with other people because we have not learned how to project that love out. So talking about having patience with yourself, with others, and then consider carefully what you want before acting. So this is another thing too. And it's not, I don't see that phrasing as be careful what you wish for. I see it more as, I understanding from the law of attraction perspective when Abraham talks about going general or going specific. So there are times when you like, there's that meme that's a joke and it's a picture of the 100 grand bar and the thing says something like, I guess I wasn't specific enough when I said I wanted $100,000. And like you get the chocolate. I'm going to go make some hot chocolate after this because it's snowing and I keep going back to the chocolate theme. But, you know, the thing is, I should have said I wanted it in cash instead of in chocolate. But, if you kind of know what you want, like I would say that's where you write it all down. You write it down like when I went to get my car, I always tell you guys about the story about my Beetle. For a couple of years, I didn't get a Beetle because I was so flippant around like, well, which one do I want? What color do I want? And then I was kind of like, do I really think I can afford a Beetle? Because at the time I was like, they're kind of expensive for my pocketbook at the time. And but once I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to go test drive stuff. And I figured out I don't want the original Beetle because there's no air conditioning and I'm bougie. I didn't want the new Beetle because safety-wise, it was not as delightful as the current one, like when I looked at all the mechanics. So I knew that I wanted the new Beetle. And then from there, I thought I want, like, and I made a little list of all the things that I wanted in my Beetle. And then at the bottom, I wrote all of this or better, at a price I can easily afford, all of this. And that's what I got. And then I paid it off 18 months early. So there's the specific. If you want to go general, like say you are like, I want, like Margaret, a good example, the assistant principal position, you want that, right? But maybe, when we say we go general, it might not be, I want to be the assistant principal of XYZ school for this year. And then I want this many kids under me and this many teachers. And here's my plan. Like I know you probably have all that laid out, but say you didn't. And you're like, well, I can't manifest it if I don't have it. Well, well, here's the thing. You're manifesting nothing. You're manifesting against what you want when you say, I can't put it out there because I don't have it perfect. And so instead we talk about going general. You might say, I want to have an assistant principal position where I am surrounded by people who make me look good all the time and that I lift them up and they lift me up, and we all agree in the idea of a rising tide lifts all boats. We employ and encourage creative thinking. We all are paid really well for what we do. The kids love us. It's a great experience and we love them and everybody supports each other, like create. And I work in a place where when I go have lunch, I can choose to sit in a really lovely lunchroom, or maybe there's some great outside seating, or it's near something just totally fabulous. Like, see how I'm going general, but I'm going general, but at the same time, I'm listing out my ideas. I may not know what it looks like, but my vibration behind it is there. It's kind of like when people talk about healing trauma, where from a therapist perspective, you kind of dig in and figure out exactly what the moment is. But from a coaching perspective and an energetic perspective, you don't have to figure out what caused the trauma. You just have to find the energy where it's stuck and move it out. So it's the same thing. What is the energy that when I think about it, what does it feel like? And so what would it feel like to have everybody be creative all the time and be encouraged to do that? What would it be like to work with people who are just so excited to be there and they get to do their job? And like, you kind of list that general stuff. Yeah, you kind of lift that general stuff out. So it's, and at the end of it, always write at the end of it, all of this or better. And if you're buying something at a price I can easily afford, but when you say all of this or better, you give the universe, you're like, okay, universe, I kind of made you this list of stuff to go get me at the Walgreens. But I'm going to give you a $50 bill. And if you see anything else that's really super awesome that you can get for me while you're there, that would be great. Thanks. Have at it. And if, otherwise keep the change, like, and the universe is like, okay, cool. And it goes out and it says, okay, let me gather up all of this for you. And as long as you keep focusing that energy towards that, you can attract something from a general perspective. And that's what I think we're talking about here. Leaning into carefully considering what you want before acting, because that's the other thing. You don't want to act if there's no inspired action. So you put all this out there and then you try to force it. And then you end up with something you're like, well, this wasn't what I wanted. Yeah, because you were forcing it. So before going out there, really sit down and journal it out. I know a lot of people are like, well, I'm not quite sure. I don't like journaling, blah, blah, blah. I'm a huge proponent. Get you some erasable pens that are cute. I mean, and a fun notebook, whatever makes it fun for you. Because getting stuff out and seeing is like having a conversation with your soul so that you can do this. And that's why being intuitive, the High Priestess card, when you talk about compassion for self, talk about love yourself so much that you are willing to journal out your shit and journal out your sparkle, okay? So that you can figure out, how do I want to proceed? Because here's the other thing. Like I was saying earlier about all the crap going on right now, if you have nothing else to focus on because all you're focusing is on that, but if you take yourself 30 minutes and start drafting out in your journal, what do I want? And then maybe breaking that down, you take item number 1. What do I want? Well, what does that look like for me? Who would I be when I have that? Who is the person that has that? What would I be doing? Like, you really start working on it. That's love for yourself, because you're giving yourself the nurturing you need, the time you need to weed through all of that stuff so that you have it on paper and you can kind of look back at it and go, okay, this is my goal. This is what I'm working towards. And I love myself so much that I'm going to ask myself every 2 minutes, is what I'm doing right now, is buying this Starbucks coffee for $18 towards me paying off my debt, if that's your goal, or towards me putting money aside so I can quit my job and run my business. So understanding being the High Priestess in your life is like being the CEO of your life, right? You lean into your intuition, you run your business, and you create pro formas. You do all the things you need to do to make sure that life is good for you when you're a High Priestess. Because the other side of this is every person on this list. I know there's a bunch of people watching that have not commented, but maybe this is for you too. Every single person on this list has followers either on Facebook. You might be an independent business person, building your business. So you are a leader, a leader in some way, a thought leader, a heart leader. But the only way you can be a good leader is if you take your time for yourself to do what you need to do, to hear spirit, to commune with your intuition so that you know. I mean, look, here she is. She's got a little journal right there. Right? And see how like the info is coming down and into the journal. Okay? Give yourself 30 minutes. Do it today, this week, whatever you got to do. If you want to share with me what comes through, please feel free. If you want to post it below, I would love to hear it. But utilize this week to recenter yourself from all of the craziness. Okay? Just recenter yourself. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be crazy shit going on. It just means you are in charge of how you choose to navigate it, as opposed to allowing it to navigate you. And that's what you embrace, being the High Priestess within yourself. Okay? And if you're a boy or a gentleman watching this, you do have feminine energy you might have to tap into that High Priestess energy. It's okay. Everybody has masculine and feminine energy. So don't think this is just for the ladies. This is for boys too. Okay? Margaret, I love talking. You and I do need to talk about maybe doing something where you and I talk about spirituality and religion and having manifesting be okay, because a lot of people get a little bit wonky and hinky about the whole Christianity or Judaism and woo-woo stuff. So what's can you nutshell that for me, Margaret? What's Habakkuk 2:2? Like, what is there a sentence there you want to share? Because I'm sorry. I know I did catechism for 12 years, but I can't remember everything. And you know all this stuff. I love it. And the angel holding the journal, right? Right? I'm not full of shit. I'm not the only one. I'm not sitting here telling you to go do this stuff and the angels aren't doing it. I have one here. This is my work journal. On the floor is my planner and my personal journal. I journal. I don't, and I'm not asking you to do Dear Diary, it's me, Margaret, kind of journaling. It is just, you don't have to do but one page, one line. Try not to put the idea. That's the other thing I want to tell you is, after talking to a client and after 2020, I can tell you there is one phrase that I think I come away with that I will probably have in my little book for this year along with my word. And that phrase is fuck convention. Because someone said you have to meditate for an hour and then people just black and white it and say, well, then I can't meditate. If you want to meditate for 5 seconds, that's fine. Grow from that. The other thing was, oh, well, I have all this education, so I have to call myself this in my business. It's your business. And I was like, why did you need to do that? And she said to me, well, because everybody's a coach right now. And if I do this, I have to call. I said, who says? And she says, well, it's like a dictionary. I said, fuck the dictionary. Okay? Screw it. Do what you are your guru. None of these other people. You know what you're doing in your life. Stop labeling yourself based on other people's shit. Label yourself on what your light tells you to label yourself. Or don't have a label. Who gives a crap? I personally, like, being called a soul coach, yes, I still call myself that because people call me that, and that's great. But I really identify with being your friendly neighborhood super woo and manifestology professor. Those resonate with me beyond any sort of coach title. So so this year, after coming up with that that mentality of screw the convention, I am giving myself permission to do that, and I give you permission to do that too. Yes. Thank you, Ara. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. We're all making up new shit. Make that shit up. Yes. And actually, let's make up Sparkle. I mean, it's funny. If you have not watched the Netflix thing on cussing, go watch it because it's funny as hell. And it, like, the whole episode on shit, the word shit, like it being bad and it being good, right on target for this. So yes, fuck convention. Do your thing. Stop looking at the shit and start owning your sparkle. That is the theme for this year, because we are being shown so much shit right now. And I want you to just own your sparkle. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the light. Do not live in the fear. Move towards that which lights you up. Okay. Be your own high priestess in your life. Okay. Oh, Margaret. Margaret says that, am I even saying that right? Habakkuk 2.2 or 2.2, 2.2. Isn't that's Old Testament, right? But yeah, Margaret is like, she knows her biblical stuff. So I go to her when I need to know, like, what line says this, and write the vision and make it plain. Is that verse in the Bible? So yes, it is like, here you go, write it down, download it out of your head. Let spirit inspire you and let it write it down, and then move from that space. That's part of inspired action. You don't just have to get up and do something. You can actually just feel it and create the energy and have it move, like I was telling you, like Caroline May said. Anyways, that's it. We've gone long to 30 minutes. I try to keep these to 20 or 15 or 20, and that just did not work. I had a lot there's a lot going on. Anyways, I'm going to go make me a hot chocolate now. And then, and later on today, if you are watching this on the 11th of January, later on today at 2:30 Central, I am going to have my secret weapon to keeping my vibrational high so that I can keep on keeping on with my manifesting. So if you guys want to join me, my secret weapon is Coach Jenny, and I love her. Now, mind you, she is not woo. She is like the antithesis of woo. And people always are like, how are you hanging out with someone that's not a woo? And I'm like, because I have so much faith in Margaret. You will love this. I have so much faith in what I do, but I know God put her in my life for a reason. And she and I joke about that because she's like, no, he didn't. He doesn't exist. And I was like, yes, he did, but don't worry about it. But anyways, you're going to love her. And she is just amazing at, like, I'm good at telling you how to manifest your stuff. And I know a lot of times our itty bitty shitty committee gets in the way. But usually when I teach that component of managing the itty bitty shitty committee, is kind of like tied into like a larger thing. But her entire jam, her sweet spot, everything she teaches is managing that itty bitty shitty committee. She calls the itty bitty shitty committee Hilda, which I love. And I will show you, if I have not shown you the book, I will show you the book later. And anyways, join us at 2:30 because we're going to talk all about that and how you can conquer your itty bitty shitty committee so that you can keep your manifesting on point for the rest of this year. Okay. So anyways, I would love to see you there. I'm so thankful you came and hung out. And thank you so much, Karina, for joining me because I know it's nighttime by you. And Margaret, thanks for like throwing down some biblical stuff so that I didn't have to look it up because I don't know that. You're the one that knows all that stuff. So anyways, I will see you guys soon. I love you tons and tons and tons. And have a great week. Mwah. Bye, y'all. See you later.